Lillian. It's just me. Hey, Lillian, could you come join me? Welcome to Butterfield Backstage Banter, the BSP podcast all about Butterfield. Hello and welcome to Butterfield Backstage Banter. I am your host, Jessica DeMent, and today I am being joined for a very special episode of the podcast by Lillian Gunter. Hello, Lillian. Thank you for joining me today.
Hello, Jessica.
Now, many of our viewers may not know this, but you're a very important figure here at Butterfield. And many of our actors and directors have even had experiences with you over the years. Your history with the theater goes all the way back to the 1900s.
Yes, it does. I am from Cook County. I was born in Sybil's Bend and grew up there for many years, and then was off at school and off at college and came back to run my father's farm for about 10 years before my mother and I moved to town. I was very active in the XLT Club, which was a ladies' literary society, and we helped establish local subscription library, which was to have a library for people who paid money. But I always felt that Cook County and the city of Gainesville should have a free public library that would be supported by the government so that everyone could have access. And I pushed for that and worked towards that, and even got a law created in Texas that allowed for county libraries. And that was the beginning of this building.
That is so amazing and fascinating. I know that you have referred to yourself as a progressive librarian in rural Texas. You definitely had a passion for bringing books to the rural community and have pushed to establish library laws and everything like that. Can you talk a little more about some of the other unique things that you did to make sure all of Cook County residents had access to books?
Yes. In the beginning, before we actually had the county library, we had several little rural areas where we had book borrowing stations or something like that were housed in local businesses where people in the rural areas could have access to borrowing books, and those would get changed out occasionally and people could have access to those. And then that led to having more of a free library in Gainesville is how it started, and then became the county library. But part of what I felt was very important was that everyone should have access, not just privileged people who could afford a subscription, and that's why I fought for the free libraries. And I feel like I was a bit ahead of my time. I pushed for African Americans to be able to have access to the library as well. And when we did establish this Carnegie Library, we did have that as a function here in the basement. There was a room that was specially designed and set aside for the African Americans to be able to enjoy the benefits of a county library.
That is so incredible that you did all of that, and definitely ahead of your time to be doing all of that in the early 1900s.
Well, I feel like if women should get the right to vote, which we did eventually, then everyone should have access, not just privileged.
Absolutely. I totally agree. And on that topic of women having the right to vote, I'd like to remind all of our viewers to make sure to exercise your right to vote next week in the election. Make sure your voice is heard, because many people fought to make sure that we could all have a say in the matters.
Definitely. It's a privilege and a right.
Yes, absolutely. Now, as you mentioned, the library that you established here eventually became the Cook County Library, and it was built here in the Carnegie Library, established by a donation by Andrew Carnegie as part of a huge library program. And that is why we still actually call this particular little theater here the Little Carnegie Theater, in honor of the original building. And the history of this library doesn't just carry the Carnegie name, it also carries your spirit. And on that, it brings me to this right here. Do you know what this is, Lillian?
That is a ghost light.
That is correct. And do you know about the history and lore that ghost lights hold for theater?
Well, of course, I'm a librarian. I know about a little bit about everything, just about. Ghost lights, there's many ideas about where that came from. Of course, back in the days of gaslighting, it was thought that theaters that had gaslight used a little bitty low light in their lamps to keep the gas pressure from building up, because so many people didn't understand about pressure and gas, and they would have explosions if it built up too much. And so they would leave those burning. But it's also a matter of safety, that you would want to have a light when you come into a dark building. Most theaters didn't have windows because they don't want that interfering with their lighting. Even when it was gas or candle, that they would have a light in the center of the stage that was left burning at all times, so that that first person in would not stumble and fall into the orchestra pit or
and become a ghost themselves.
Exactly.
Oh, absolutely. Now, are you aware? I know you spend quite a bit of time in this theater. Are you aware of our upcoming youth productions?
Oh, yes. Those children and youth are so talented. I cannot get over how talented they are. There are so many wonderful youth in the county, and they've come here and participating in the show, and their director, Shannon Revore. Oh, it's so wonderful with them. I love seeing the children learn and do things on the stage. It's wonderful.
Absolutely. And that show is going to be Ghostlight and has a story around a ghost light and is very fun and exciting. And we're really looking forward to that show. Lillian, what is something that you would say to encourage our audience members to come and check out this historical building and see a show like Ghostlight here?
Oh, it's such a rich part of our history in this county, and such an ongoing, vital part of our community, that it's important to remember the history, but also to look to the future. And the children that are in the show are the future of our theater. And being a historical building, it's just got so many interesting details to it, and fun history to learn about. The books that were here, the shelving, all of those things. In fact, upstairs in the lobby, the box office desk is part of the original desk of the circulating desk where the people would come to check out their books. Wow. So lots of history that just connects people through time and through the ages. And I just love being here to see it all continue.
Oh, well, we love being able to have you here and are so thankful for everything you did to bring this building to Cook County and give a future home for Butterfield. So
you're very welcome.
Thank you so much for joining me today, Lillian. If you all would like to get tickets to our upcoming show or learn more, please make sure to visit our website. The information is in the box below. And thank you all so much, Lillian. I'll see you around.
Yes, I'll be here.
Absolutely. And we'll see y'all at the theater. Bye.
Thank you for joining us. For more information, please visit butterfieldstage.org.